Oh my gosh. Welcome to the show. Will Roberts, of course. FilmFestivalLive.com. Let me tell you something. The reason why you're looking at this and you're probably thinking, wait a minute, Will. You're usually on top of the hour. Hey, it's life and Zoom and live streaming. So we have our guest today. I'm very excited, but I have a very small window of opportunity to talk to him, Jonathan from Big Apple Film Festival in New York. Very excited. But I'm going to probably have him come back on to get a full scope of what they're doing. I'm going to launch right into it. Normally, I'd blather on about something about why, actors need to work and do their own work. And that's why we're doing film festival stuff and produce your own shit and blah, blah, blah. Whatever. We'll get that at the end of the show. But without further ado, let's take a look at who we have here and I just want to come to the film festival to dance during that promo. Welcome to the show, of course, Jonathan Lipp, Film Festival founder and director of Big Apple Film Festival. Welcome, brother.
Hey, thanks a lot. Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah, me too. And I know we had a bit of a glitch getting ourselves hooked up, but along with being a professional actor and a live stream host, I am also a tech guy. So we just show people how to push it and move it along. But let's get right into it and let's talk about Big Apple. Why would you even consider having this much responsibility and changing your life? And I know that it takes up a probably 24/7 job to do all this. What possessed you?
I've always been a big fan, supporter, champion, advocate of independent film. I'm in general, even beyond film, I'm just a big fan of people doing things on their own without waiting to be accepted or selected or chosen or discovered and all that kind of stuff. So I've always kind of felt that way, and but I've always been a big movie fan. So sort of that mentality of DIY, do it yourself, coupled with film, I've always just been a big fan and supporter of independent film, and I've always had the utmost respect of folks who created their own films and self-distributed, and I just love that stuff. I love those stories, and yeah, I'm just a big fan of it.
Does that come from just out of your? Let's dig a little deeper into to Jonathan. Does that come from a entrepreneurial, a business mind, or are you previously or still an actor going, I got to figure this situation out? What's the reason behind that, though?
I think when I was much younger, I was always sort of waiting for people to discover me or select me, whether it be in film as a filmmaker or even in other aspects of life. And then as I got older, I sort of realized that it just wasn't a realistic route for me and for many people. And so I started sort of flipping the switch and saying, okay, how can people do things on their own and be their own advocate and sort of build their own empire, so to speak.
Right. Yeah, and okay, so that's a good point. So technically, you've been in this sort of realm industry of I guess you want to say not even Hollywood anymore. What the hell? Let's just call it filmmaking and creative world. How long? How long? When did you start?
This festival actually started in 2003.
Right.
So we started with, I believe that first year we had like 17 or 18 films show over the course of 2 evenings, and it did well. There were other people that agreed with me. They loved independent film, and they really loved the idea of being able to present it themselves to their audiences, and so we just kept forging ahead. And ever since then, I've just been a supporter of indie film and entrepreneurs and everyone in that world.
Creative. So how many now? How many films, for instance?
Oh, now Oh, oh, now we'll show maybe on average 100 films at a festival. Of course, many of them are shorts. If they
Yeah.
were all features, obviously
Oh
the
my
festival.
God.
But
War and Peace.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, a large percentage, of course, are shorts. But yeah, about 100 films in total. Yeah,
That's awesome. Okay,
yeah.
so let's talk a little bit about how tech savvy are you in regards to filming and any kind of production like that.
Me personally, I mean, very, very minimally. Just from being around it, I know of certain things, and I myself can do. I do basic editing. Myself using, uh, you know, pretty basic, software.
Right.
Um, things like iMovie and things like that. But generally speaking, when it comes to tech, if I ever need tech, for example, videography at the film festival itself, or if we need a festival trailer cut, or anything like that, we hire
Yeah. Go to
tech
people.
folks to come in. You
Right.
know,
Well, okay, so you're actually a good person to ask this next question to, being someone that isn't like, oh yeah, I got four red cameras and I'm always shooting and editing on DaVinci.
yeah,
So my question is, 2003, I think you said, or yeah, okay, you started. How's it different? I mean, look, I can tell you because I started 100 years ago, 40 years ago doing this, and I started with, working at Fox and CBS as a Fox Kids Club host and shooting with Beta SP, which now is archaic and tape and so on. And but I watched the industry because I've been become very good at all of my different technology. How has it changed since the beginning? Are you seeing that more opportunity for filmmakers? Are you seeing better quality? Are you seeing people that you're having to educate more?
I would say the main thing is I think there's geez, so much more content than ever before because it's so much easier and cheaper to make a film. You can make it on your phone now. So there's so much more content, right?
Yeah.
And with more content, of course, comes a lot more competition, right? So it's much more difficult, I would say, to get your work seen. However, if you have a specific niche for an independent film, like for example, a documentary maybe on a specific topic, let's say,
Sure.
or I don't know, a specific band, a rock band, let's say, or something that that has a fan base, something like that.
Yeah.
I would think, is sort of a way to get out there. But I think in general, there's so much content that it's become a lot more competitive. And of course, the streaming world is also, there's so much content now on these streaming platforms. It's
Yeah.
like insane. And for filmmakers who are looking for, monetary success and financial return and to be able to recoup their costs, of course it's much more difficult now, I would think, because you don't, if you are successful in getting onto a streaming platform, we've had many filmmakers that have been on Netflix and Amazon and Hulu and all these things. Very often you don't receive a large licensing fee unless you have
Oh,
some big stars in there or received a tremendous amount of press through some huge film festival or well-known talent or something like that. It's very difficult to receive a large licensing fee. Amazon, if you are streaming through Amazon Prime, you get a very small amount,
very small.
per stream per hour. So things like that, I would say, just the amount of content has become, and it's great to get your work out. There's so many more
Sure.
so much more opportunity to get your stuff out there, but to recoup the costs, of course, is also a lot more competitive.
Right. Well, one of the things, a good point you mentioned. I've done like two Netflix films. I did one in Brazil for 46 Day called The Killer, and I learned a lot about that whole thing because the director, Marcelo, basically said, "Yeah, you're really kind of just doing this in the beginning. They took the film, they basically helped sort of pay, but not really. But what you're really doing is you're getting credibility because we all know now. Like, look, hey, if you want credibility, you shoot a TikTok video, you get a million hits. People go, oh, you're awesome, you're an influencer. Or if you get on a Netflix, then potentially you could take that and piggyback onto a Hulu or something like because." If you're in this business, I think you're a person that might be able to agree with this. If you're in this business, to be a millionaire, you're more of a comedian, and unfortunately, it just doesn't work that way. And that's okay because you got to realize that filmmaker, actor, creative, you're in it for the long haul, and you just love the fact that you're looking up on the screen thank goodness, to places like Big Apple that allows you to see your work and go, wow, people are digging this. I'm going to keep going. Because we didn't have that, 50 years ago or even 15 years ago, really, to the masses. And now you can go there and get yourself a little pat on the back and go, cool. And it didn't take me $14 billion to do it. So that's kind of awesome. Let's wrap up your section here. I wish I didn't have to. I wish I had more time. Can I get you to come back again?
Yeah, that'd be cool. Thanks.
Tell
Appreciate
me
it.
when the festival is, or I should tell our audience.
Yeah, we have our festival coming on November 1st to the 5th. It's taking place at the AMC theaters in Times Square. So it's a really cool location. So that should be super exciting. So that's in November. And then we also do some other events during the year, like July 28th. We're actually having a summer shorts series. It's one evening of shorts. So that should be a fun event.
Great.
Yeah, but the festival itself is taking place November 1st to the 5th. So yeah, we're totally looking forward to it. Should be a good time.
How's the obviously you have a lot of submissions, but how long before you close off submissions? Is that done yet?
The submissions for that festival, for the November festival, actually close in September.
Oh,
Uh, yeah, so
get
you have
in.
anyone who is interested. You have up until September. Yeah, so you can check out BigAppleFilmFestival.com for any info.
I love it. All right, Jonathan Lipp, I really appreciate you coming on again.
Cool.
I'm a little disappointed that we don't have a little bit more
Yeah,
time, but
all
we'll
good.
catch you again. And by the way, I don't know who you look like, but I'm sure people
Oh,
go, you look like, I get Daniel Craig sometimes, but you look like
oh
what?
yeah,
I forgot his name. You look like an actor.
really? Oh, thanks.
Yeah,
Oh,
you should
that's a
consider,
good thing.
unless if you have a real job, you should consider that.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds cool. Yeah, I've always kind of thought about
All right, ladies and
it.
gentlemen, thank you very much for watching Jonathan Lipp and, of course,
Cool.
BigAppleFilmFestival.com. Check it out. Go there. And if you have a film, please submit. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. And, this is a great chance for you to get out there, get a little pat on the back, and continue what you're doing. Thanks for coming on the show, Jonathan. I
Cool.
really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Really appreciate it.
You bet.
All right.
All right. Hey,
Yeah.
so folks, that is the end of the first show. And I wish we had a little more time with Jonathan right now, but we will come back with Jonathan. I'm going to twist his arm and we'll show some more, maybe some of the festival highlights that they did from last year. And, again, till September, you can submit your project and you can go from there. And I love it. Just do it. Really quickly, I'm going to end on a note that I want to tell everybody about. And here it is. Actors, I talk about this all the time because my show originally was called actingupradio.com. And I've always tried to do something what we call guerrilla marketing as an actor because, look, hey, standing in line for all these, cattle calls, not really cattle calls, but now the submissions, they're kind of like cattle calls because I don't know if you know this in the industry, people, but before COVID, you would submit for something on Breakdown and you would have an average, ready for this, 2,500 people that would submit for the same role. Well, now because of COVID and we're all in our own little self-taping areas, it's 4,800. So get your shit in quick because if you don't, I'm sure casting directors and directors are like, I can't look at any more of this stuff, please. And try to be creative. So here's how I was creative, and I want you to watch this, and then we're going to come back and into our next half of the show and our guest, Tyler. Oh, I'm so excited to talk to him. But I want you to watch this, everybody. Check this out. See if I can find it. There we go. It looks just like this. Hey, thanks for clicking the banner. Now, I know you're dying to know what it is that makes a successful casting office or director or production. And the answer is actors. See, you can have a great script, great casting director, a director, producer, but here's the problem. You always need good actors. To be or not to be. But let's face it, there's way too many of us. And we can't market to you, which is odd considering that they call it show business, and that means that there's business in the show. We can't call you. We can't send you an email. We just submit to the breakdowns like the other 4,800 that submitted to you on that casting call with no action-packed pitch letter, sales letter, and all we do is stand in line and remain quiet. Let's be honest. Lines are for Starbucks, not for careers. If I still have your attention, I want you to watch this next 46-second video. Now don't go away, because there's a quiz after this.
Detective Gennaro, I need to speak with Rex Wilson.
Rex is already out there on the speedway for his practice run.
You know what I mean.
Now let me see your shotgun.
Here, cool it down.
This is like your old man, huh?
Is there a problem, soldier? I'm asking you a question, Lieutenant.
Running in clown shoes.
This is gonna be fun.
Time! What if they need more time?
That wasn't so painful. And I even saw a couple of you laughing. So if you like what you saw, operators are standing by.
Yeah, Will Roberts is great.
For sure.
Oh, you want to book him?
That's my agent. And if you didn't like my approach, well, I'm Daniel Craig, and I hope you enjoyed this commercial.
All right, so that's it. End of the show. Try to be clever. Now, I know that'll probably piss off a lot of people. But the fact of the matter is that you can stand in line in Siberia and hope that people are going to pick you and see you. Or you can get involved in film festivals. You can create your own thing, which dovetails me into the second half of the show. I'm going to end it with this, our close, and we'll be right back after this with our next guest. Okay. Oh, God damn it. I lost my glasses. I can't see anything. Hey, welcome back to the show. Normally I would break this, but we had our first guest, of course, which was Jonathan from Big Apple Film Festival. I'm going to jump right into this because I know my next guest has to get out of here soon. Hold on. I got to get my glasses. If I don't get my glasses, I'll be looking and going like this a bunch. Ladies and gentlemen, very excited to have this young man on our show, and I'm going to bring him in here right here really quickly. But first, I'm going to show you a quick little demo.
If you loved her so much, then why did you cheat on her all the time?
I always came back to her.
Yeah, and every time she couldn't find you because you were out fucking around, she would come to me, worried about you. She knew what was going on, but she didn't want to believe it.
And that's when you stabbed me in the back.
No. Just shut the fuck up and listen.
A dog will always find a stick. People will tell him, look, Fido, this won't work. But he will stupidly reply, this time will be different. That famous argument. Now what did Daddy do? I mean, I figure that you wanted to kill yourself anyway. Those are your words, not mine. So why not take advantage of it? Why not blackmail your dad or something? Shoot. Oh, here we go. Sleep well. No, Mom died not knowing your dirty secrets.
Okay. Whoa, there you are. I have to bring you in. You are number 3. Stand by. Wow. Okay, so first of all, how can I go any farther past that scene? That was intense. Tyler, how are you? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you for having me.
I'm very excited. And I know we got to boot scoot and get you moving. I love the fact that your last thing had that cowboy accent, by the way.
Oh, thank you. And actually, I do have a little bit more time. My phone conference got pushed back by half an hour, so I definitely have some more time to hang out and chat.
That's me doing my Cabbage Patch saying, okay. Anyway.
I love it.
Welcome to the show, by the way, and I really appreciate you coming on. I looked at your stuff, and I guess I could say this just outright and say that you have a new fan. So,
thank you so much.
And one thing I want to say, the reason why I'm saying that as well is because you're not just a filmmaker, actor, you're an entrepreneur, you do a lot of different things. And you know as well as I do, because you've been doing this long enough, and my statement that you're an entrepreneur and you're you care about causes, you're doing this the right way, which is you've put everything into it. So let's start off with that and say, give us a little Reader's Digest version about Tyler. And by the way, please pronounce your whole name, Tyler Hampong, right?
Yeah, that's exactly it. You got it perfectly. It's Tyler Hampong.
How do you do people call you? Do you have a nickname other than your
It
father?
does get confusing. It does get confusing because Ham Pong is the full last name.
Oh,
It was a whole mix up in immigration. My grandfather's name was Pong Ham. They mixed it up in an immigration, gave him the first name Joseph, which wasn't his first name to begin with. But then that's the kind of history of the etymology of our name. But
that's funny.
yeah, it's Tyler Ham Pong.
Do you
Yeah.
have a nickname?
Sometimes people call me Ty or T, but
Okay.
that's about it. Yeah.
That's better than me.
But
My dad used to just call me asshole. So we're good. Hey, asshole, get over here. And I was reluctant in showing your demo a teeny bit because you got some 4-letter words, but I made sure that we turned off the 15 and under knob on our different platforms. By the way, just so you know, folks, we are streaming live on our Facebook Live, which has got 17,400 people, actors and industry people. Boom. We're on our YouTube channel, which has 10,000 something subscribers. Our Instagram, I'm sorry, not Instagram, our Twitter, which I have, which has got 72,000 on it. And really, we're going to give this man so much press because of what you're doing. So let's get into what you're doing. Did you start off and say to yourself, gee, I want to do this and start in high school theater? Give us a little background.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I got my passion and my start. I was interested in the entertainment industry beforehand when I was younger, but in high school is when I started getting into theater, and it was a really life-changing experience for me. It pushed me in that direction. Actually, the name of my production company, Kill the Pig Productions, is a reference to my high school theater because they used to talk about a show that they did before I even joined, but it was Lord of the Flies. So we had an exercise that was based on that first show where they would recreate that last scene with Piggy, where they would chant, kill the pig, slit its throat, spill its blood, blah, blah, blah. So recreating that last scene. So it's a reference to that, but it's also, you know, I have Ham in my last name. So I had to get a little reference to a pig in my production company. So that's where that name came from.
Well, I just have you know, I have a 7 and a 10-year-old, and my 7-year-old loves pigs. So I'm not sure I'm going to turn him onto your film production company yet, but he loves pigs. But someone just asked on Facebook, which by the way, we'll get Facebook, Instagram, I mean, all different people logging in and asking questions. A very intense scene. That one's a misspell, but I would know that word because I can't spell worth of crap. But are you also a production company? Yes, you are. And what was your decision to become a production company based upon the fact that you went, I'm tired of waiting for other people to do shit for me? Or what's the reasoning behind it?
Yeah, that's the exact reason. As a mixed race actor, especially when I was growing up and first getting into the industry, there weren't a lot of opportunities, and there aren't a lot of opportunities for people that don't fit within a certain mold. Yeah. So I would find myself going to auditions where, you know, I would either be in a room full of Caucasian people or a room full of full Asian people going out for a role that neither of them were necessarily compatible for my type. Right. So it started to become where I would write roles for myself and create opportunities for myself, and that blossomed into a production company. And I've been the owner of this production company since 2010. Wow. So I've been in it for the long haul.
Is the sole purpose of the production company? And I ask this because here I am in my studio, and when I get bored or I need some extra cash, I jump on Fiverr, which I hate saying because I'm I'm FICORS. But the point is that, you know, if you need work, you need work. And by the way, I'll say the statement. I bet you could say the same thing. This ain't my hobby. So, you know, if we don't make the rent or the mortgage, then no one's going to do it for us. So, you know, trying to overcome those hurdles. Are you just doing your own stuff, or do you do any corporate? What's the primary focus of the production company?
We are our specialty is actor services. So we do headshots, audition taping, actor reels. But, you know, we've been approached by corporate and we do corporate. I just did a green screen corporate video a week ago or so. And I'm really open to hearing what the client, what the artist is envisioning. Right now, we just partnered with a TikTok influencer who's expanding his YouTube. So we're helping him with his YouTube curation and videography for YouTube and writing for him. So it's we're open to a lot of, like, I love working with inspired people, and that's really the main thing that I'm looking for a collaboration.
You have a crew of people. I've seen a lot of your stuff. Let me ask you, the film, I won't tell any casting directors, but for instance, the hostage scene that we saw, is that a pig production, or was that a real film? I mean, it's a real film, but I'm saying, you know what I mean? Because it was legit. It looks awesome. It was very well done. You did a great job, and everything was well crafted and edited. So is it an actual film festival or a production or a TV thing, or did you go, I really need to play a bad guy and I'm tired of not playing one, I'm going to do it myself?
Oh, thank you for the appreciation. I can't take credit for it for Kill the Pig Productions, but the filmmaker is a very good friend of mine. His name is Jonathan Coco, and the actor that I'm opposite of is another great collaborator of mine who has appeared in a bunch of Kill the Pig production stuff. His name is Christian T. Chan. So yeah, it is within like our same friend group of collaborators. Once you have a group of people that you like working with, I feel like it's easier to come together and just throw a project together if you're just feeling creative.
Yeah, no. I mean, look, I actually live in, you know where Temecula is?
Yeah.
I live in Temecula. So it's very funny because, you know, I work a lot, and I go back and before COVID, I was going 4 or 5 times a week, either shooting or, auditions or callbacks. And then when COVID happened, they went, oh, I'm really sorry you have to self-tape. I'm like, because, you know, that's 2.5 hours each way, 3.5 on the way back. But my point is that I know you edit, you shoot, you do it all, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's correct.
So you get the calls like I do, like, what's up? Hey, Will, I got this idea. It's an idea. And you know how you write? Yeah, I write. Yeah, and you can shoot it and you can edit, right? Yeah, your stuff's amazing, Will. So we could work together. I'm like, and what are you gonna do? You're going to show up and eat the food on craft services. But it has allowed COVID. I want to talk about this. COVID has allowed people like you and me in the industry to really kind of rise above and be the top of the cream of the crop of these creators, because we're not sitting here going, well, what the hell am I going to do now? What happened when COVID happened? And did you sit there going, what now? What'd you do?
Yeah, well, I mean, it was really, it was traumatic for a lot of people, for sure. For me, when the pandemic hit, I had just signed on to be the 72-hour shootout coordinator for the Asian American Film Lab.
Wow.
And if you're not familiar with this competition, it is a global competition where hundreds of people submit films and they make a movie in 72 hours for the chance to win mentorships with executives at ABC, NBC. In my year, we had prizes for masterclass subscriptions and final draft. So when the pandemic hit, I not only was organizing this festival for the first time, but I was shepherding this festival into a virtual kind of realm, which was new for a lot of festivals at that time. Now, a year and a half later, we've become accustomed to virtual screenings. But back then, it was in its infancy. Nobody was really all that interested. So it was actually a lot of help to distract me from what was happening COVID wise to put all my effort into building the judge panel and getting people to submit and getting interest from people who were in a very depressed, unsure state as it is, and encouraging them to be creative, even if they don't know how to edit or film like me, or like anybody who like has, you know, a DSLR. I would encourage them, you know, this is the isolation edition. You can shoot it on your phone. You can cast your dog or your cat or your mom in this film, and like we expect it to be this kind of do-it-yourself project, and I encourage that. And
then you had to find people that had decent internet connection. Because seriously, I started during this thing a company called andhere'syourhost.com, which is basically a live stream company, because as you can see, I'm a pretty good live stream, lower thirds and the whole 9 yards. And this is one of the things I'm doing with film festivals, is because it surprises me. Your shot looks great. You know what you're doing. You got a neat little Fresnel in back of you. It's all good to go, or a Leica, whatever that is. And the bottom line is that, but most people I speak to in the industry, it looks like they're shooting it in their bathroom. And that's why I kind of came in, you know, to the rescue on this, going, let me tell you a little bit, at least get yourself a 4K, and do a little something, and it's only going to cost you, as you know, it's drastically changed since you started, that I can shoot this 4K. I can shoot with my, whatever they're called, the LEDs, leaner and neaner, or whatever it's called, my fold-up screen, and I look like I'm network. And the bottom line is that it's really changed. And COVID did allow us to, one, force people into a situation like we're in right now. Like, I used to try to do interviews, and you have a podcast. I used to try to do interviews, and I'd interview people like Lana Vinker, David Rappaport, and I'd go, hey, I want to do a Skype version. And they're like, oh, I don't get on camera. I'm like, but, and this is like 6 years ago. And I'm like, I know, but I'm going to be like cutting edge. You know what I'm saying? They're like, I don't do camera. Now, it's just kind of stupid that, you know, that people wouldn't get on, because it's all of it. Because you can save this as a video. You can export it as an MP3, and, you know, and it's a live stream. So it's really changed a lot. Let me ask you, are you seeing that with the actors that you're dealing with? Because you're in an industry, a part of the industry that says, if you want a demo or a headshot, you're a one-stop shop, Tyler, and we're going to help you. But how much education do you have to do in this?
As an actor approaching us for what they need?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, as an actor, you have to be informed for what the casting director, what the agents, what the industry is generally looking for. So it's good to come into a consultation with us having an idea of what type you are and what type you want to portray. Because a lot of the time, the actors that come to me, they don't have a strong type, or the thing is that people are typing them a certain way, and they want to be typed the way that, you know, they see themselves.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the footage that shows you as the good guy, then nobody's going to hire you as the good guy.
No.
So that's where we come in, and we help them craft a custom scene for their reel that portrays them the way that they want to be cast.
You started a while back, and in the beginning when you started, I want to ask you if the actors, one, their discipline has changed, and number two, back in the day when you started, it's not that far back, but still long enough to know that this was not something that people were using, and they didn't really grasp it. How tech savvy do you think your actors are when they come in? Are they more trained on where they're hitting their mark, or are they embracing how to embrace the camera? Is it different when you started, or like I said, do you have to go, why don't you try to do this and that? How's their tech savvy parts doing?
It's a mixed bag, to be honest. I mean, like, I am surprised sometimes at how many people come in and don't know how to, when they shoot it, don't know how to get it from their phone to their computer if they want to edit it, or if I send it to them over WeTransfer or Dropbox and they're trying to download it on their phone, but it's like it's desktop only. I mean, there are a lot of these like small things that you just have to kind of hold the client's hand through if they're not too familiar with it. But yeah, it is definitely a mixed bag. But with cell phones, I think with cell phones, people have been becoming a more self-reliant for their auditions.
Absolutely.
But like when they come in and we do their self audition or their self tape, I mean, we have, you know, lights and professional HD cameras, and like we take care of a lot of the stuff that normally kind of plagues the actor's mind in the background. So we enjoy doing that.
Yeah, and again, I commend you because, you know, there's a billion places in LA, New York, Chicago that you can go to get a headshot. Is it right? You can go and get, you know, into a self-taping place. Are you doing it right? You can go in and have people create demo stuff. I've seen a lot of that, and so have you. And a lot of that stuff that people go in and produce, you go, holy God. No one's going to take that seriously. So I do commend you that you've managed to one-stop shop that, and you know, that's really awesome. Hey, we're going to take a small break. Can you stay for a little bit longer?
Yeah, totally, for sure.
Okay, good. I want to take a small break and talk about something, and then when I come back, we're going to ask you a question about something that's trending sort of in the news and what you talked about and who you are. So hang tight really quickly, and I'm going to do a little mention. Here we go. So one of the people in Los Angeles, California, by the way, for MovieRentals.com, good friend of mine, David Hill, he has a company he's been doing for like 15 years where if you're doing anything cop, medical, military related, David, I get cool thing is that David and I have started producing a thing called Hollywood TV Cops, which is kind of this like funny little behind the scenes thing because we're always on a set, which is kind of cool because we don't have to worry about the props and the setting. So I bring my 4K with me and I shoot some little fun little bits and just, you know, ad-lib it. But the cool thing is that if you need anything in the Los Angeles area or even around the United States, for MovieRentals.com, David's got SWAT gear, police gear. We have all the cops. I'm one of them. I'm obviously a weapons person, and I've trained police and cadets before. So if you're looking for any of this stuff, locations, doesn't really matter, cop places, hospitals, we have it all. I say we because he's a friend of mine. So check out this website for MovieRentals.com. And that is my plug for that. Let's come back in. All right. We're talking with Tyler Hampong, and he is a filmmaker, an actor, and an entrepreneur, and a really nice guy. I want to ask you, when I said trending and topical, you're an Asian American. And not only did we slap you with COVID, but we slapped you with the fact that we were with, and I'm going to say this without any regard, we were stuck with a president with his head stuck up his ass. And unfortunately, what happened was he labeled something that should have been labeled generically a bad way, which created a very bad problem for Asian Americans. And I kind of get I get a little upset because I spent 20 years as a political and social humorist, i.e. Will Rogers style. And when I see what happens to our society, our people, because we are a mixed bag of awesome people, and I see people on certain sides of the aisle blaming and pointing because they're ignorant, I relish and I honor being able to talk to people like you, Tyler, and ask you, how have you been handling this? And have you had any, I guess it's a dumb question, have you had anybody treat you badly because of your origin?
Yeah, it's thank you for acknowledging that and bringing that up. It's a very there's a lot to unpack in this subject. I personally haven't experienced as much hate during the pandemic as a lot of my friends or colleagues might have. But I have heard a lot going on, and with the Asian American Film Lab, I was able to hear a lot of people's experiences, and a lot of people shared their experiences with COVID and anti-Asian hate in their films. And during the time, it was also the height of the social justice movement, and there was a lot of Black Lives Matter protests happening at the same time. So a lot of the films that were submitted to the Asian American Film Lab were very topical, and and it was very insightful to see all these perspectives, and cathartic as well to see that people are having these same experiences and people are willing to share them. I think like we definitely need more representation on camera and behind the scenes for not just Asian Americans, but people in general. But there's a big like push to have diversity on screen, but what's also important is getting the diversity behind the camera. So you have diverse writers and diverse showrunners who are respectful of diversity and not just treating it as a color by number drag and drop kind of situation. I think that, you know, there definitely needs to be the representation behind the camera in order to get that authentic representation in front of the camera and those authentic stories.
Well, you know, that's a very good point. And the thing is that, you know, look, I'm that demographic. I'm that demographic that for many, many years, we just went, I don't know, how you want us to change the world. Because, you know, I am not going to say middle-aged because Hollywood might find out, but not an ingenue anymore. But the point is that, you know, luckily I'm not, even though I'm cowboy, I'm not cowboy. But the fact is that Black Lives Matter has had a really good big stage. And I grew up in the South Side of Chicago, okay? And my father, my grandmother, my mother, everybody would just be telling horrible, horrible ethnic jokes all the time. My uncle would call me from Chicago and go, "Hey, Will, I got a great joke for you." And I'm like, "This is like killing me." But, you know, that takes a lot of time for that to die off, because those people are still here and they're voters. But one thing I will say about Asian American demographic is that you're still, in my opinion, don't have quite the voice that Black Lives Matter has. And you're right about diversity in film. I mean, look, we went through. I mean, we're my demographic. We're really bad people. And I don't mean that to be. And that's no, I'm just saying. No. I mean, I'm talking about the actual people that are bad, not me, and not there are wonderful people. No, I'm saying that we have been the cowboys in the black hats, and for the longest time, and now it's great that the consciousness as a paradigm shift going. It's not okay just to cast all this all the time. Hey, am I suffering? Yeah, I don't get the same amount of calls, but ebb and flow, and it's all good in the hood. So with that being said, I would like you to give a little advice to fellow Asian Americans out there going, son of a bitch, I don't see enough out there for me. What can I do? How can I do it? Tell me any movement, Tyler, I can do. Can you give us that, please? A thought?
Yeah, I mean,
I hate to put you on the spot. But I have a feeling.
No, I mean, like, it's a lot of the same advice that it's pretty much the path that I took that I was talking about earlier about if you're not seeing the opportunities for yourself that you want to see, then you have to create those opportunities yourself. And I get that it can be expensive, it can be difficult and daunting to film your own content, write your own content. But as I said before, filmmaking has become has globalized so much with the advent of cell phones and camera phones, and people are able to make content so quickly overnight. Even on TikTok, people are becoming celebrities overnight for creating sketches.
Damn.
Right. And it's a new form of storytelling, but it's it's definitely user friendly. So there's no reason not to put yourself out there that way. Don't wait. Don't wait for the call. Don't wait for your agent to call you. You got to be hustling.
You do. And you know what? I mean, you saw in the beginning of the your segment where I showed the thing I'm doing as a marketing thing with me standing up.
Yeah.
Literally
I
shot.
love that.
I appreciate that. That's really me going. It took me like, I don't know, 5 minutes to blast out the what I was going to write, and then I do what I call I do quick clip or news edit, where I came up with this thing where I take a lot of space out of my talk, so it goes because in this day and age, people's attention span is that of a gnat. So you got to be like, moving this stuff and putting into B and all this other stuff, because otherwise, if you take too long, people go, yeah. Because of the advent of TikTok and Instagram, little clips and all of the, the matrix out there saying that if you don't tell me, Tyler, in 5 seconds what you want me to know, bye-bye. And that's what our industry has grown into. Now, there's a lot of people out there misusing it and using it badly and creating bad parts for their acting career. Because I've seen some stuff where you're like, damn, that person just got 1 million views on that. And that's crap. But you got to give it to people that they're out there trying to do something to get noticed. Hey, by all means, I would strip down to my Speedo. I have one on. And I would, run around naked in LA with a sandwich board if I could and not get arrested. So I commend people for doing that. Let's finish off with, again, I asked you for advice before, but let's finish off with you telling us the different things you do, where we can get you, where we can find you, because I didn't see a website. I saw your Instagram on there, but is there a place that the pig lives that we might be able to push people so we can create an article and tell people how to get their stuff done the right way?
Yes, absolutely. So you can find us at killthepigproductions.com. It's simple enough. We're also on Instagram at KTP Productions. You can find us on Facebook, Kill the Pig Productions. And personally, if you just want to find out what I'm up to as an actor, my name is Tyler Hampong, and I'm on Instagram at Tyler Hampong. And that's it. That's killthepigproductions.com. Visit us to check out our rates for headshots and self-tapes and actor reels. We love to work with you.
And again, I just want to ask you, you do have packages that go, yeah, we're going to do this, and that, and put these all together for you. Headshot. We'll give a little consultation. We'll do some scene stuff for a demo reel. And do you have packages?
We have them individually itemized, but we can absolutely work with people to create something custom to what they need.
Okay. Financing available? Sorry. I had to say it.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure, Tyler. And without a doubt, I know don't you have a podcast?
No, I don't. But I have appeared on several podcasts over the pandemic.
I saw that. That's weird because I looked at your link and it said, maybe it's just podcast you've been on. Got it.
I mean, with the pandemic, I have been on more podcasts this past year than I have ever been in my life. So that may be it.
Hey, you know what? Hitting the podcast circuit is not a bad thing as an actor because look, if you're trying, by the way, little side note, if you are smart on Google, when you search up your name as an actor, if you've done a fair amount of stuff, you're going to see something on the right side called the knowledge panel. When you see that and you see your name and your picture, there's something at the bottom here. This is a tip for you. Go out and get it. You can click it and say, this is me. And it will allow you, in essence, sort of a Google verification, and you can actually get in there and change that. Because look, if someone's searching for you as an actor and they come over here and they see someone else or they see, because mine was on there and it said that I was 74. Can I flip?
No.
Can I flip people off on my show? Yeah. So, I'm like, what? So I went in, I got the knowledge panel and I fixed it because I'm only, 38? Anyway, but the point is that you can control what you need to do. Tyler, I will definitely be asking you and knocking on your door again to have you come on as on the show and do something else and talk and give your pearls of wisdom if you're into it. And I appreciate you coming on the show.
Oh, it was a real pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Anything else you want to say? You have the final say-so here. I just want to move you over to your single. Anything else you'd like to tell people at all?
I mean, I'm so thankful that you had me on here. I guess my last thought, it's just always something that rings around in my head because I love Rocky Horror Picture Show, but don't dream it, be it. One of my favorite quotes.
I love it. I thought you were going to say that right now you're wearing garters and a teddy. I'm like, oh, damn. Damn. Of course,
I won't stand up.
please do not. It's a Zoom thing. Of course, Tyler Ham-Pong. He's a filmmaker and author. You can get him at killthepigproductions.com. I really do appreciate you coming on the show. Hang in the wings. I'll talk to you for a second when we're done. But thanks for hanging out with us, okay?
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right, everybody, that was the show. I love being able to talk to people like Tyler and, of course, Jonathan from Big Apple Film Festival just because, look, we're in a business of passion. And if you're not waking up every day, and I mean this sincerely, look, I don't have to impress anybody. It's my show. The fact is that if you're not waking up every day and thinking, oh my gosh, what can I do? And you don't get like little blah blahs in your arm and going, oh, this is cool. If you haven't figured out yet, just so you know, as a professional actor, director, producer, whatever, if you haven't figured out yet that the game is supposed to be as fun as actually doing it, then I have bad news for you. You're probably in the wrong business. In addition, if you can't use your equipment that's in front of you to be able to portray what you want to portray, Tyler actually said it really well, is that you come in saying, look, I got a problem. Like I have one. I spent 20 years as a professional comedian. Dick Van Dyke, Jim Carrey, falling over stuff, stupid. I was before him. And the fact is that now because of my cowboy stuff, I kill people for a living in my films, most of them. The Netflix, the Amazons, the whatever. And so I'm having to reshift my sort of brand because people are like, oh yeah, Will, you say cowboy, you got the spins, the guns, and guns, the whips, and rah, rah. Well, we have a choice. And when Tyler said it, he said it right, which is you're going to come in, tell us what you are and what you're seen as, and tell us what you want to be. Every single day, you have a chance to recreate yourself. And if you're spending your time just kind of going, maybe I'll just do a TikTok, and you probably should get out of the business. Because you know what? We're standing in line with 1.5 billion actors in the same role, and 1 billion of you probably aren't working really hard. And I hate to sound hardcore on you, but get out or get to work. And we're trying to help you with that here, of course, on our filmfestivallive.com. You can go to our website, our YouTube, our Facebook, get involved, ask questions, because there are people that know things that you don't know, and there's things that you know that we don't know, and we want to know them. I'll see you next time. Hang out with you. We'll have fun. We'll bring someone in. I promise you'll learn if you want to. Bring a pad and paper next time. And for everybody under 20, Google pad and pencil. See you next time.